last lap was a
Hi guys, just want to add info about the two hotlaps you just watched in the video using Racing Sim Tools, which is the best software out there for telemetry. It's not fully compatible for F1 2021, but they're working on it. Yet it's still great software and very useful to grab data and helping you improve your lap times. So we're going to analyze the two laps in the video. My best lap is 1:16.8 and 1:16.7, which is the last lap in the video, and has been invalidated for track limits. We're going to compare these two laps, and as you can see, first thing is all the difference we're going to see here are based on my mistakes, driver mistakes, because they're not related to my setup, because the setup in both laps was the same. We're going to start from here, explaining the graph. The top above here is the time slip, and is the difference, the delta between the two laps. When the graph starts to climb, it means we are faster on the fastest lap. When you see the slope here, here, and here, it means we are faster in the other lap. Same with the speed. The green line shows the speed of the car, and in the fastest lap, the red line is in the other lap. About throttle and brake, we have the green line is the throttle of the fastest lap, and the red line is the throttle of the other lap. Same with the brakes, and the yellow line is the brakes on the fastest lap. The blue line are the brakes in the other lap. We got then steering lock here. Graph is very useful too, and combine G, which is pretty useful when you have to analyze your performance under trail braking. So let's start to analyze the two laps. We have the same speed at the end of the straight here, and what you can see is that in the fastest lap we carry much more speed in the corner 1 entry, about 20 kilometers faster, and you can notice we start brake later, about 7 meters later, and we've been on the brakes, full brakes, for much more time. Yet we finish, when you see the slope here is where we start the trail braking phase. As you can see, even if we start later and stop braking later, the braking phase ended at the same point. So carrying much more speed on the entry and ensure us to be quite fast on the way out too. And going on turn 2, we keep the same speed, yet we are some way faster. And at the end of corner 3, the long right hand side corner here, we got about 1/10 advantage in the fastest lap. We've been faster about 1/10. What is interesting is you can see we start to gain from corner 1, but at some point you can see the slope here. We lost some time, and it's quite interesting to see why and where we start to lose time. As you can see here, I've been much more aggressive with the throttle on the way to corner 2, and this means that when we start to cornering for into the car in corner 3, we had to use much more, as as you can see, much more steering lock, and this means without lifting the throttle, this means we have to use a much higher steering lock to keep the car in the line, in the track. And indeed, as you can see here, we start to lose time because we have a different driving line, and we start to lose a bit of time here, a bit of speed, and this is where we're starting to lose sometimes on the slope here. So corner 4 now. On the entry of corner 4, we have been in the opposite direction of corner 1 and 2. We have been faster on the entry, on the corner entry, with a slower lap. Indeed, we start to brake earlier and we lift off the throttle earlier with the fastest lap. But this helping us on be quicker on the throttle, back on throttle. Indeed, we start to lose some time here on the corner entry, but then we starting to gain again on the way, on the exit on the way to corner 5. Indeed, we have been able to back on the throttle quicker. We have been able to carry much more speed on the way on the exit. Now corner 5. On corner 5, we still got more speed on the entry, on the slowest lap, and this is we have been able anyhow to go back quicker on the brake, on the throttle, and we're starting to lose sometimes here. Indeed, we were 1.5, and we at the end of on the way exit on corner 5. We lost some time here, and this is because even if we reach the full throttle earlier on the fastest lap, we use less we use too much steering lock, and which didn't help us to go back on throttle earlier. So that's why even if we carry more speed here on the apex, we couldn't be quicker go back quicker on the throttle. So on the way exit, we got more speed on the slowest lap, and this is a mistake indeed. That's why you can see we lost a bit of time here. Then this is really interesting point to analyze. You can see there's a huge climb here of the graph, and we passed from 0.130 to about here, almost 2/10. So this is where I gain a lot of time. I've been carry much more speed in the entry, and as you can see, using this time more steering lock to close the corner helped me a lot to rotate the car and go back quicker on the throttle. See a lot more speed here, more than 10 kilometers on the apex, and even if we reach the full gas early on the slowest lap, we carry much more, we gain a lot of speed here, a lot of time, and we start to lose again time here on the fastest corner 7, and this is why I had to you can see here I used a bit too much steering lock on the entry. So I've been in trouble to keep my car on the driving line, and I need to lift off from throttle here in the middle of the corner to not go wide, and that's why I lost a lot of time. Look at the difference in speed. Indeed, I'm starting to losing time again here on the slope here. So this is another mistake. Then we got the next corner. When we start to gain again, you can see here, we start to gain, and then suddenly we're starting to lose time again. We have been very, very quick, and we carry much more speed on the entry. Again, 15 kilometers faster. But the mistake is we didn't use enough steering lock to close on the trail braking, to close the corner. So when we went back to the throttle, we have been much slower Plus here, you can see here on the way out, I had to lift the throttle because I've been too much aggressive here compared to where I've been more smooth on the throttle. So I had to lift the throttle because if you check the wheel slip here, you can see I had a lot of wheel slip. My rear tire started to slip and I was nearly lose my rear. So I had to lift the gas, and once I got grip again, go back on throttle, and this made me lose a lot of time, you can see here. And then going on the next corner here as well, starting to lose a bit more time here for the same reason, because I'm using too much steering lock and I've been a bit too fast on the entry. I need to lift off the throttle again and trying to keep the car here on the driving line. So I need to lift off the throttle again and losing a lot of time here. Look at the speed difference. And then we arrived at the the most important point to analyze, which is here on the last chicane. This is where I lost all my gain, the time again. Here you can see before the last corner, the last part of the chicane, I was about 3 times faster, but I end up with about just 1:50, and this is because, well, you see I've got the bump on the last part of the chicane here. I got the bump, and this is why I got the bump. Basically, I've been a bit too fast on the way in. As you can see, I carry too much speed on the fastest lap. This means I had to use, now we're going to watch some pictures to show you better. This means I had to use more steel lock to try and close the corner. And on the same here, when I need to turn right, I had to use more here, more steering lock to try and close the corner. But this ended me up on the bump, which made me completely lost the car, and indeed I had to lift again the throttle to try and keep the car on the driving line, but this didn't help me and I went too wide and got penalized. Indeed, you can see the difference in speed here on the exit here, 11 kilometers less on speed, and this is where I got the bump. If you go and check the springs, you can see here the difference. Take a look. We just watch. It's the slowest lap where I got no problem. I just hit the bump basically with the front right tire here. You can see this peak, this slope here. And watch if I had the data from the fastest lap where I evenly hit the bump. See, twice. So it's been a big bump even with the rear tires, and this made me lost the car and lose a lot of time. So now that I deeply analyze my 2 fastest laps, I know where I can gain more time, especially of course at the last chicane, but this means that I could easily point out at about 1.16, 0.3, 0.2. If I'm able to put all the pieces together, I can easily put down a good, for me at least, 1.16, 0.2 or 0.3. Well guys, hope you liked the video, and if you want, subscribe and get notices for more contents. Sorry for my English. Hope you enjoyed the video. See you next time.